Hey, Kisses from Kenya is produced by Democrats Abroad Kenya, but everything you hear in this podcast reflects our personal perspectives as, as Americans living in Kenya.
Yes, nothing we say should be taken as the official stance of Democrats Abroad Kenya, Democrats Abroad Global, or the Democratic Party. This is an entertainment space and not an official policy platform.
Thank you. Yes.
And we're here on our still as of yet unknown podcast. So let's get into it. This week we're opening with our queer and Black Joy corner. So we'd love to hear a moment of
Black Joy. So that was in the tune of Good Times. All right. But I'll do a whole theme. So my Black Joy this week.
Temporary lamp.
Good Black Joy. And yes, I get a little Holy Spirit with it too. So this week, actually, this is palpable because when we said we were going to do this, I knew immediately what I would talk about. So this week I did a facilitation because I do training and facilitation for an NGO here in Kenya.
Plug yourself, baby.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching.
You never know. Hi, facilitator here. But anyway, they were such a smart group. It was about 15 of them. And I won't say who they are, but they were such like the minds that were there, the thoughts they came up with, the ideas. And even when they were looking at content being presented by their other colleagues, the way they dissect and think about it, I was like, wow, what a smart group. And then I looked around the room. Yes, I know I'm in Kenya. However, you got to remember, right, coming from where I came from, to look around the room and everyone in that room, well, except for the global person who come in, but they were all Black people. And it's something about being in places and spaces with Black people after, I guess maybe it's trauma that I had in the States, right? Because Blacks being looked at in a certain way, looked down upon, the lack of intellectual ability. We know that's not true, but the things in which we saw, the buffoonery, the foolishness on TV, the stereotypes, but to be in a room where people were so smart and they, in essence, looked like me, that gave me some Black joy. And for you, what did you have? What did you experience this week? What's some queer joy you experienced this week?
Mine was funny because I had a first, which, at my elderly age, like one does not have many of those when it comes to at least, queer life. We'll leave that also for another day. It's my first time. It's been a while since I said it. Oh, by the way, I didn't give my usual disclaimer that this is not an official statement on behalf of Democrats Abroad.
I think we'll just have to do a recording that always goes at the beginning. Yeah, in the beginning, please.
But sorry, I got distracted. So there was a speed dating event called Nectar and Night that a couple of my friends put on.
What?
And I was like very nervous about going to it because I've never done speed dating.
Yeah,
and
I've never done that.
Also, like, all of my friends that were promoting this are like in their 20s and like muscle bound. So I was just like literally like for weeks, I was like, am I gonna be the crypt keeper of Nectar? Like,
hello. I'm your.
And they like very like strongly assured me no, I wasn't gonna be. But I think one thing that was like beautiful about it was like, like, I didn't have any anxiety about the queerness of it or like being, visibly gay going to a thing.
Yeah.
Like that was all very affirming. It was just like, am I going to be the elder?
Right,
like,
right.
On the verge
Are you
going to
be the old gay? The old gay. Oh, there he goes.
Floating
you
up with
know that old gay that used to appear everywhere.
And I just like appear with like Maya Angelou next to me. Like,
I wish you could do her voice and then that would just wrap a bow on this conversation.
I'm quite sure I'd be canceled if I did that on the internet.
This is true.
But it was like such a beautiful experience. I mean, definitely like most of the men that I met were like in their 20s, but you know, they were still like, hey, can I take your number? So I had that moment of like, she still got it. But it was also just like, I mean, that experience, like similar, right? Like of like being in a space, and like they set it up really beautifully. Like there was a space for gay men, or you know, like men who MSMs, you know, men who love men. There was a space for women, you know, who also are attracted to other women. They had their own little speed dating.
Wow.
And there was also a space for the heteros, like to do their own speed.
What?
And so, but it was mostly, you know, the gays, because again, like the marketing was very clearly like, here's like a bunch of nipples and pecs. But similarly, like being able to like kind of like pause in the middle and like look around, and it's like here's like 60 like gay men in Nairobi, Kenya.
What?
Doing like the speed dating.
That's amazing.
Like going around meeting
Progress.
people.
Wow.
Like it was just beautiful. And like all of my anxiety, I think, definitely boiled down to like also trauma. I mean, doesn't it usually?
Yeah.
But all I could think of was like, you know, it's like that like moment at the prom, you know, it's like, is anyone going to ask me to dance?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you have to rotate, and I was one of the ones who was staying like in one seat, so it's like, is anyone going to come and like, sit in my chair?
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! By the way, I didn't go to prom. I was pregnant at the time.
Oh.
That's a story for another day. We have a lot of stories for
make
others.
a running list of these.
But you did get asked to dance.
Yeah, like many times. As Blanche would say, many times.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it was beautiful. And despite all of that anxiety, like, I mean, it was so positive. I mean, and you had all different body types. You had all different ages. You had all different, you know, shades of skin. You had all different heights. Like it was just like such a mixed group of people. But even like if you sat down across from someone and it was like, I don't think like, you know,
this is gonna
I'm
happen.
not trying to smash, but like
I was gonna say something else that would have been really rude. So let me just be quiet. Look at you, look at me. This is not gonna ever happen.
They don't fit together the right way. Like even in those instances, people were still like, oh, you know, like I feel like I like your vibe, like I like your style, like we should be friends. Let me follow you on Instagram.
Nice.
Like, there was no like, at least in my experiences. Of course, I can't speak for everyone else. Like, I had no experiences that either I or I hope like the other person that was with me like felt less than, you know, because of like that desire piece that we like put so much weight on. So it was beautiful.
Oh, that's great. I feel the joy from that story.
I mean, I'll bring you along to the next one if you want to go in the...
I know. How big was the hetero section?
I mean, it was smaller.
Right, and probably in their 20s. I would really be the crypt keeper. That's okay.
Like, somebody has to be the ancestor at every gathering. Okay?
I will not be the ancestor.
I'm happy being the elder. I don't want to be on the cusp of ancestral plane, you know?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So what are we talking about today? I love it.
So today we're talking about, like this concept of, I mean, actually, I think building off of what we were talking about just now, right? Like, where is that kind of line between, like, really like comfort and safety, which I think like keeps coming up for me, and I'm sure, well, based on our little pre-chat, I think it's also come up for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, because I'd love for you to start it off. I know we were having an interesting chat in how this came about, so please.
Yeah, I think like building off of like the queer joy moment, like I mean, it's really been coming up for me a lot recently, like in LGBT spaces, like especially global spaces, right? Because I think that, you know, LGBTQ people that live here, you know, we know what the issues are here.
Yeah.
We're aware of like the gaps, but also like very aware of like the positive. And so, you know, we had the experience when we were planning to bring the DA AGM here to
Mhm.
Kenya.
And just in case, because I know we like to use letters, but
Yeah.
can you say it all out so people would get it
I'm
off?
trying to avoid putting people on blast, but yeah, Democrats Abroad, the global annual general meeting.
Okay, there we go. Yes.
So I co-led the bid
Mhm.
with our former chair to bring the meeting here.
Yes.
And well, actually, yeah, to avoid throwing people under the bus, let me lump two experiences together so that it anonymizes.
Okay. Mhm.
So also on the other side, of course, I'm an active member of Rotary International, which for those of you that don't know is an international service organization who also has like an annual global convention. And I happen to sit on the board of the LGBT plus fellowship within Rotary. And so we, the year after next, are going to be having our annual convention it's proposed to have it in Dubai. And there's also been a lot of feelings in both of those spaces from other queer people, mostly people that also look like me, just to be very clear.
Yes.
Both
people with beards.
Often
people with beards.
Often, yes, actually, because it's usually the white men, but the ladies too. Just like a lot of anxiety, it's like, which I think I felt more distinctively like when we were talking about something involving Kenya, because I was just like, like I live here, so I think you should be able to trust like my lived experience.
Yeah, like what were they saying, or can we even go that far?
I mean, in both instances, right? Like I think there's like a lot of like, kind of getting like hit over the head with like, this is what the legislation says, these are the statistics, like just like a lot of like it's like that old like children's book Chicken Little, like and the sky is falling, like it's like a lot of like catastrophism about like it's like if I come, like I'm gonna be like locked up immediately.
Yeah, the safety, right?
Yeah. And I think what was interesting, like in both spaces, right, was like really trying to tease out, like for instance, even like on the Dubai side, like because I've also traveled pretty extensively in the Middle East as what I would call like a fairly visibly queer person. Like I don't think I hide it that well. I mean, even my parents were not surprised when I came out to them in college. So
they're like, finally, we were in for this.
Yeah, like literally. But I have personally like, and again, of course, there's always an aspect of personal experience.
Yes.
And I'm white, so like that's also a thing. And I'm American, that's also a thing.
Okay.
But I have personally never felt unsafe. Have I felt uncomfortable at times? Sure. Have I also felt uncomfortable as a gay person living in America?
Especially in the South?
Yeah. Well, even in the North.
Sorry.
I mean,
so
like,
sorry.
You grew up in upstate New York. I grew up in upstate New York. Like, it's not like Schenectady High School was, like, particularly, like, rolling out the rainbow carpets, especially in, like, 2002. So
I go back further than that, right? Yeah. So I'm hearing you say this about the safety and the comfortability.
Well, and I what I found was fascinating was like, especially like when engaging with people who, are coming at this usually from a Western perspective and often coming from Western countries. Like, I remember like, I mean, I wake up every day ready to fight. Vuyanzi. So it's like, you want to throw some statistics at me? Let's throw some statistics around. And but the thing was, it's like, so if you're, for example, speaking to me from, let me not use a real example, the UK.
Okay.
It's like if I look up hate crime statistics in the UK against LGBTQ people, there are thousands that occur every single year. And so you're in a place where the law is on your side, allegedly society is on your side.
However, still,
the statistics don't bear that out.
Yeah.
Whereas me living here in Kenya, where, yes, there are legal aspects that can make that challenging. Like, I mean, of course, I would say hate crimes here probably underreported because of like the legal environment, but still,
yeah,
if you're looking at 6, 7, 8,000 hate crimes a year happening in a country that's smaller than this one, I guarantee you the rate is not equivalent here. And so, part of that is because it's less visible. Like, there are a lot of like factors that play into that, but it just really, for me, kind of blew my mind because I'm like, so, you're telling me that you don't feel safe, being in an African country or in a Middle Eastern country. But the reality is, like, you're not safe over there either.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that for a second, right? Because I have many times gotten when people knew I moved to, forget Kenya, they just think Africa, right? Because it's all one country anyway. So, and I'm being so sarcastic right now. And the number one question is it safe? And so here's the thing, and I really just came to this as we've been sitting here doing our pre-talk before this podcast, that is it safe question is about their discomfort in who they are, about where the place is, all things Africa, right? The way we were or were not educated in the American school system. Because so some of the ways this question has been asked. One time I was in the States. I was in both. I've lived in New Jersey and New York, and I remember this one Black man. And this is important for me to tell you this. He's a tall, visibly black man who says, "Well, I heard over there they don't like us." I'm like, dude, when you're going down the New Jersey Turnpike, I can tell you who doesn't like you. I promise you, I can tell you who does not like you. So I'm like, that's his discomfort though, and he's projecting, right? That was the word that you used, that these people who've asked me this, is it safe? Is it safe? Oh, Africa's on my bucket list. Why do you have to wait all the way till right before you kick the bucket? I mean, I have a whole problem with that expression anyway. It is that whole safe thing. It's like, recognize that you are uncomfortable with Africa. And recognize where that comes from. Recognize the data and what it shows about who you are, because a lot of times people asking me this look like me in America. So let's be clear, it's not all white people asking me this. And be clear on what the stats are. Be clear on that when my sons turned 16 and they were driving, or 16 or 17, and they had to drive a car. They were driving a car on their own. I had to give them the talk.
Yeah.
You know what the talk is. Yeah. And anyone who's watching and doesn't understand what the talk is that when a Black man is driving, you tell him how to act when he is stopped by the police. Why do we do this? So he won't get killed. Imagine that in a country where you are its nationality. You grew up there, you lived there, you're born there, live there, eat there, die there. But you have to behave a certain way just because of the color of your skin. So when people have asked me, is it safe? Boo, are you safe? Are you safe?
I put your name on the altar.
I fasted for you. You had to go to Target this week? Right. I fasted for you.
You need a traveling blessing just to go out the door.
Yeah, I mean, and if people would just look at it like that, the difference that it could make in terms of that perception, even if you don't, you've been educated about Africa a certain way, which nowadays you can actually search engine it, right? You don't have to think that people
Google Gemini AI will even give you a helpful summary.
Listen, is it safe? I'm just going to say this once, and I'm sure we'll always have these anecdotal stories. When I was talking to, I can't even say, okay, it's a person that had been in my life, a white woman that's, let's say, about 10 years older than me. And then when I told her, oh yeah, I moved to Kenya, but we're on a video call. And I was like, yeah. And so I turned it around and I'm showing her the big, tall buildings. And she's like, oh my gosh, I thought it would have been huts.
Girl, when I told people I was moving here, they were like, "How are we gonna stay in touch? Like, are you gonna have electricity? Like, is there internet there?" And I was like, "Excuse me." Like,
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I have to laugh at these things because I can't get mad. I have to laugh.
I mean, I do think like the intention is often not like the intention is always coming, not always, usually coming from like a good place. But yeah, I think it's this piece around like, it's like sometimes the places where you feel the most comfortable are actually like not safe for you. You're just comfortable.
Right. Yes.
And it's like, on the flip side, sometimes the places where you feel the most uncomfortable are actually like much safer for you in reality.
Yes.
You know?
And this, okay, this is kind of touchy, but this is coming up for me, and I just want to share this because when we're talking about safety and comfortability and thinking about the way things were perceived or the projection. And what I mean by that is, here's the specific example. In America, when you'd see, let's say back in the day, you're watching the news, when people used to watch the news or whatever, or wherever it was, you see a crowd of Black people and something bad has happened. That's what you equate it with. You're not saying, oh, look at them, look at. It's like the crowd of Blackness and then everything associated like that. There's criminalized behavior must come out of that. So I even saw that, okay, so that's about safety and comfort. And even coming here for a bit, I noticed discomfort when I'd see groups of, let's say, people that look like me.
Yeah.
And I said, where is that? Ew. Like I'm saying to myself, ew, where is that coming from? But I know exactly what it came from. We are so conditioned to that, is it safe type of thing? Or when we see this, it is not safe. But no, it's just simply uncomfortable because something was displayed to you. And you being me, right? Something was displayed to you. You were told something about that. You, unfortunately, let's say, had nothing to contradict that. And so it's almost programming. Oh my gosh, that's what we're talking about here. It's the programming of the safety and the comfort and the projecting and our thoughts and really having almost white supremacist thoughts, even as a Black person, not even realizing it. So this is all very interesting. Oh my gosh. I know we could go on, but I think.
Well, it reminds me of like when I first moved to Louisiana. And I moved to Baton Rouge, and I was there teaching in my little school. Yeah. And I mean, trying to explain that experience to people that look like me, like whether it was like well-meaning people back home up north, or even like, because when I first moved to Baton Rouge, I was there with my little polo shirts, like, just coming from my little upstate New York liberal arts college. So I like went to, naturally, like I had grown up going to an Episcopal church. So I like went to the Episcopal church and it was all white and I was very confused. And it was like, I got so used to like when I would say, oh, like I'm Brendan, I work at Prescott Middle School. Like people knew Prescott because like, they found some dead bodies on the roof and stuff back in the day. But so like the responses that people would give me, and it took me a while to realize, like, much like what we're talking about, like at some point I realized I actually feel safer and more comfortable there than I do here with y'all. Wow. Because there, I mean, Black Americans, it's like, especially like once you become a part of the community, it's like you're part of the community.
You're a part of the community.
Very accepting. So, it's like, even when there were issues happening like in the neighborhood, like I was very conscious of the fact that like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So like, ain't nobody coming for me because I ain't got nothing to do with y'all's issue.
Because snitches do that.
Yeah, exactly. I ain't snitching. I ain't see nothing. Wow. But it's like, and that was actually part of why I wound up removing myself from like a lot of majority white spaces, because at some point I realized like I actually fit in less here because y'all like our lived experiences have at this point diverged so far.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because actually the truth is, like, if you look at statistics, like, it's the white place where you about to get shot.
Okay.
We the ones showing up with the
straight up.
I mean, that's
Straight
just
up.
reality.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's and it's so funny how like it's like when you really dig into it, like most of the things that we're taught are actually the opposite of like reality.
But it isn't that connected to white supremacy and making sure that everything is distorted, from the welfare queen to the gangs that are killing people to, you know, everything, your perception.
Oh, it was a white shooter, it must be a mental health issue.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah, or disorder. It's a
Yeah.
disorder. Right. So,
There's a lot we could talk about. But
yeah.
I think that might be all the time.
Yeah. And I hear you say you taught at a middle school. I taught at a middle school too.
Really?
So, yes. So, well.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about. Y'all tune back in. We'll be trading war stories over here.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And let us know what you think about the conversation and chime in. We'll be waiting to hear from you.
All right, y'all. See y'all next time.
Bye.